Hello, everyone. Welcome to your journey to the afterlife. Anubis and Turwet are busy, so we will be guiding you down this path to the Golden Reeds. I'm Haxley. This is my apparently this way.
Yeah. Do you think you could balance your scales, Haxley?
No, I have no faith in this.
No.
I feel like I'll get kicked off the boat.
I think I'd be okay. I'm pretty honest about my life.
I don't know how the Egyptian afterlife works too much, to be honest. I'm more familiar with the Greek pantheon and everything where there's multiple ones. Like I probably would not go into the hero one of Elysium, but I could go into the normal purgatory one. I wouldn't be like bad to go get punished for all eternity of Tartarus, but
The scales in Egypt depends on your
it's just good
uh,
and bad, right?
no. So it's about how truthful you were as a person, and also how good of a person you are.
Oh no, okay, I'm getting eaten by this crocodile.
Okay. I think I could. I think I could get through it. I mean, I've done a lot of bad things in my life, but I've tried to atone for them. So I feel like that makes up for it a little bit.
All right, one of us can go to the Riza while the other one gets eaten by this crocodile.
You don't even get eaten. You just get turned into sand forever.
Okay, I thought if you fail the test, you got eaten by like a Ahmed or something in like the old days.
Maybe. But in this Moonlight world, Ahmed's not out yet.
I just get tossed into the sand dunes for all eternity, huh?
Yeah, you become a part of the sand dunes for all eternity.
All right, well, let's get into this. We keep diving back and forth between Mark in therapy and then Mark and Steven talking to Tarwet, the hippo goddess of fertility, who I guess has taken over the role of guiding people to the afterlife.
Yeah, because
I'm assuming she didn't do this before.
Anubis has been captured in stone, so he can't fulfill the duty anymore.
Yeah. If anything, I'm just kind of upset Steven never questioned this because, like, I don't think he knows Anubis has been sealed.
Yeah, but yeah, I thought this episode was really interesting. I think Oscar Isaac had could put on a masterclass of acting after this series. Like even if you don't necessarily like the series, which I know you don't, Huxley, I think it's you gotta just respect his ability to be able to be both of these characters and swapping back and forth constantly.
I don't know. Because I don't know. I feel like it's just something actors do. So, like, I'm not that impressed.
It's not something that actors just do. A lot of the time they aren't playing multiple different characters.
I'll be more impressed. I'm more impressed by the girl who's going to play She-Hulk, who she was also an Orphan Black. She played
Mhm.
like 17 people.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that there aren't people that have done more and haven't done better. I just think Oscar Isaac has really done a fantastic job, and I could feel all of his emotions that his characters were having.
I'm just gonna have to trust you on this because, like, I think he does a good job as Mark Spector. I think maybe he's overdoing it with Steven and when Khonshu was in his body.
That's a fair counterpoint. I think I think this episode he did exceptionally well on, but I think this was also more of a Mark Spector episode than we've gotten.
Yeah, this is mostly Mark Spector and just Steven running around,
Yeah,
honestly. And Steven's like worst part of his whole show.
and honestly, like the overdoing Steven really makes sense when spoilers. We find out that Steven was a manifested personality of Mark because of a childhood like hero, on-screen hero. He's basically a like caricature of a British Indiana Jones, which is funny to me that they didn't just use Indiana Jones because Disney owns that.
Do they own Indiana Jones?
They own Indiana Jones.
Okay, I'll
Remember
trust
we
you.
saw the Indiana Jones stunt performance at Disney World?
Was that Disney or King? I don't remember if it was King Dominion or Disney. I
That
feel
was
like these things just sound
that was Disney
familiar.
World.
Okay, I will trust you on this.
It was very reminiscent of the way Christopher Reeves was able to do Clark Kent and Superman. But they also may not have referenced Indiana Jones because people got kind of upset that Spider-Man kept referencing Star Wars, which was kind of nitpicky in my opinion.
I just want to bring this up, I guess. I was like, stop
Yeah, we
fucking.
can do a little tangent.
It's like, I don't know. Am I picking people I know? Because if so, I think I'm dead anyway.
If I'm picking people I know, I don't want to go through a zombie apocalypse because I don't think we'll get through it. We're barely getting through COVID.
Anyone alive?
We're not getting through COVID. I'm good. I'll
I
die.
gotta choose anyone alive right now to go through a zombie apocalypse with. We're taking Shakira, The Rock, and who's another bad person who can do all the work that I don't do anything for? I don't know. Ronda Rousey, I guess. Ronda Rousey seems like a badass.
Hax is getting bit in 24 hours.
I mean, I don't have the greatest luck of things. Quicksand, poisonous fish.
All right, if I'm gonna take this somewhat seriously instead of just saying I'd rather just die, I'm gonna choose Bear Grylls because he's got some survivor. Choosing somebody with enough money to get us to a remote island, and then I'm choosing Gordon Ramsay so he can cook all the good food.
So you're taking Elon Musk then?
No, I don't know. Somebody with a helicopter. Doesn't have to be super rich. Just has to be able to get us to a private island.
All right. Getting back to topic. They have Indiana Jones. They have Star Wars. Mark created Stephen Grant out of this fictional archaeologist. I guess that's why they didn't use Indiana Jones. Because they needed to make a character for Stephen Grant.
Yeah, and it makes sense that, like, if they had said Indiana Jones, we would have known from all along, right?
Yeah.
It was a really well written episode in my opinion because it showed how just how much the trauma of losing a child can be, but also how the trauma of an angry parent can be on you, an abusive parent can be on you. That this 8 to 10-year-old created a whole new personality so that when he was being abused, he would never like have to deal with it right then and there. I also think they did incredible casting on whoever his dad was because he looked a lot like Oscar Isaac. And yeah, I think this episode was just really good from a like experiencing mental health standpoint and abusive relationships and just coping mechanisms.
We are talking about Moon Knight right now. That just aired over on Disney Plus on Wednesday.
Yeah.
But yeah. This is the second to last episode. We're now dealing with this trauma. I feel like we should have honestly dealt with this sooner than the second to last episode, though.
Yeah, definitely. Should have probably dealt with it.
Because this seems like important character moments that would normally happen a little bit earlier. But I don't know. What else can we say? I mean, there was all that. There was that scene where we found out Mark was a mercenary in the desert. Everyone's dead. He crawled into Khonshu's tomb.
And was manipulated.
And Khonshu gave this cheesy line like, "You are my Moon Knight."
Yeah.
I was like, what is this line, Khonshu?
It's very from the comics, but in the worst way.
Okay, I was like, this. I guess if they want to go connected to the comics, go for it. Because like you could have just done something. You are my right hand of vengeance. Because that's another thing Moon Knight said or Khonshu says, right? The
Yeah,
right
I think
hand of vengeance.
the I am Moon Knight is not something Khonshu actually says. I think that was just, Disney doing Disney things. But I did really like the imagery of Mark going into the temple because that's very from, especially the comic series that they're basing this all off of. Like that is exactly how it happens.
I'll trust you on this because like I do not read Moon Knight.
I think you would enjoy his comics more than the show.
I mean, I can believe that. This show is terrible. I feel like I would enjoy a comic more.
The comics are a lot darker. There's not a lot of humor in it. And when there is humor, it's like really dark humor.
Well, this one has silly stuff like "You are my Moon Knight, Steven kissing Layla, and then Layla just getting mad at, I guess, Steven Mark for killing her father.
Yeah, like this one is not. I'm enjoying the show because it's got some really good moments and they do some really good things. Like I do think that this episode did a lot of really good things in terms of like showing the trauma and the abuse and what it can do to a person. But I also just find a lot of the show to be not a great showing of who Mark Spector is and who
Yeah.
Moon Knight is.
When we have Jeff here, Jeff always complained that this is not Moon Knight. This is Disney's version of what they want Moon Knight to be.
Yeah. Moon Knight should essentially be Batman, except he doesn't care if you see him coming.
Yeah, that's what Jeff said. Like, he's wearing white so people know he's coming, and he's gonna beat them up.
Yeah, and the mask isn't a mask; it's his face. Like that is a part of the Moon Knight character.
He did. Yeah, he also said that that's his face. He kind of just like ripped off his face or something. I think he said.
Yeah,
and he gets mad at how often Moon Knight just takes off his mask. He doesn't care that if they pay for the actor. He wants the heroes to wear the mask.
Yeah. That is kind of one of my least favorite things about superhero films is how much we see actors' faces.
Not even just superhero films, because he's also making the same complaint about Halo, where Master Chief just takes off his helmet.
Yeah, it's like, just let the character be the character. And I get like sometimes it's hard to do the facial motions and stuff like this, but Marvel's done a really good job of making that not the case in masks. Like Spider-Man shows all of his emotions in the mask, yet actually I feel like we actually get Spider-Man the least with the mask off.
No, because it's a common complaint that Spider-Man has like 50% of his movie fighting without his mask on.
That's true. Yeah, and the big Green Goblin fight at the end was completely masked off.
Same with like the older Spider-Man movies where Toby's fighting Doc Ock on the train.
With half his mask off.
Yeah. And then everyone knows who Spider-Man is, and they just keep it a secret for the rest of their lives, I guess.
That does happen more with Peter than it should, is that his hair and his face will show a bit, but it's not like half the face so you can tell who it is. It's like his eye and then like parts of his hair poking out and then his chin.
But yeah. Spider-Man, Halo, Moon Knight. I don't know what other heroes that need to keep their mask on, but Jeff wants them all to keep their mask on. He doesn't care how much the studios pay for the actors' faces.
Batman doesn't. Batman just wears his mask.
If anything, I feel like people were complaining about how much Robert Pattinson was Batman and not Bruce Wayne in that instance.
Yeah. But like honestly, the thing about Bruce is he's not Bruce Wayne, he's Batman. Bruce Wayne is the costume.
Yeah. I guess it's also different that Batman doesn't have like a full face covering compared to Moon Knight, Spider-Man, The Mandalorian, Master Chief,
Flash. Actually, Mandalorian doesn't take off his helmet.
I thought he takes off his helmet in the show.
No.
Oh.
That's the big thing, is that his creed is that you don't take off your helmet.
Okay. I thought that was like a whole thing about season 1 finale or something where he took it off.
He does. We do see it eventually, but it's not a regular thing.
Okay.
It's exactly what they should have done with Halo. It's like, if you're going to show the face, wait a long time to do it, and then don't make it a regular thing.
All right. Anything else we have to say about Moon Knight besides he doesn't wear his outfit that often?
I'm really curious as to how they're going to end this.
I mean, I don't know.
And I'm curious to see. So I think we got a bit of inner child in the last one. And I'm really interested to see if we're going to get any of Jake Lockley in the last episode.
In the last episode? And what could potentially be the series finale? Because we don't have a season 2 yet.
That would be a great way to announce that there's going to be a season 2.
Earlier, Marvel had tweeted out, be ready for the series finale. And then they deleted that tweet when people were like, series? So we don't know if that was a typo, or Marvel's changed their mind about this being a series finale and they're going to continue this.
It would make sense for it to be a short one season one-off because
source material is not that much.
Yeah, it's six books from this specific comic run. And it's a really good 6 books, but they also don't do anything from it, really. Like, and that's the frustrating part.
I mean, we can always have him in the next series fight Thor and steal his power, steal the Phoenix Force. I forget whose else powers he still. He still Ghost Rider's powers at some point.
Yeah, we could have him date Spider-Man.
He's dated Spider-Man.
It's kind of a joke. So there's a panel where it's like who's dated Moon Knight, and it's like 4 people going no, no, no. Spider-Man going kinda, and then another no.
I'm gonna be honest. Another thing about this, Tom Holland looks very young compared to Oscar Isaac.
Oh, because he is very young compared to Oscar Isaac.
How old is Oscar Isaac? Because I know Tom Holland's actually not that young. He's like
Tom
what,
Holland's
21
like,
or something?
He's like 25 now.
25. But he still looks like a high schooler, kind of, I guess.
I mean, the big thing about it is that he's short.
I don't think that's the only thing. He still kind of has like a baby face compared to others.
I think his face has really matured since he's first taken the role in it. But he's also super young in comparison to Toby and Andrew when they played Spider-Man.
Yeah, because they always pick old, like 30-year-old guys to play Spider-Man.
Yeah, and like the actor, that's somebody who was almost appropriately aged.
Yeah, because honestly, Toby didn't look like a high schooler. He looked like he could pass off as like a college student.
That's why the second movie was very quickly in college.
I guess Andrew still looked like he could be a high schooler. He was just a cool high schooler.
Yeah.
How old is Tom Holland? Just want to double check that. You're right. He is 25. Because I thought it may be 21, 22. He was born in 1996. So yeah, that would put him. Okay, so like 25.
Yeah, he started at 18 for Civil War.
So, June 1996. So I guess he'll be 26 next month.
And he's planning on taking a couple years break from acting, at least from a major production standpoint.
Yeah. Hopefully he still looks like he belongs in college once he comes back from his break from acting.
Or they could just I think he'll still look young. Because Zendaya still looks young too, and she's 25.
Zendaya, I guess, yeah, that doesn't sound right. Zendaya 25, because she was Shake It Up back when I was in like high school.
Yeah. And then I always forget the guy who plays Ned, but he also just looks young, and he's around the same age.
God, I feel like out of the 3 of them, one of them just has to like age super quick at some point. Because sometimes life just does that. One moment you look like a high schooler, and the next moment you look like you're 40 in college.
That's true.
Because I had some friends who life was not great to them. Out of nowhere, they just started looking like they're balding and they're like 40s.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know how I'm going to rate this as a season. I think it's a very fun show, but it's not, and it's very it's like Moon Knight light to me.
I'll give it a 3 out of 10, maybe a 4 out of 10. If anything, it's probably the MCU TV show I enjoy the least.
That's fair. I think that is right for me too. I think before I would have put Captain Falcon there.
Oh no, Loki. It's overtaking Loki as the worst one.
But I think this episode might have been one of the better episodes of MCU television for me. I just think they really did a great job of the abuse and trauma aspect. And I think Oscar Isaac really did well. I think also Oscar Isaac is having a harder time in this show because he's doing more CGI acting than anybody else was. And everybody else was already well planted into their characters. Like Anthony Mackie was probably the newest. Him and Bucky were both probably the newest at playing their characters from the main character point of view.
Maybe either Anthony or Wanda. I don't remember who came first.
Yeah, they might have come at this same-ish time.
But I feel like at least Falcon, I feel like knew what they're doing and where they're going with. Wanda, I feel like didn't come to her own until WandaVision almost.
Well, I think that's because the Russo brothers don't know how to write women.
That could be it. But they didn't do everything she's in, right?
I mean,
I don't remember.
They did most of the things that Wanda was in. The only one that they didn't was Civil War, and that was her best before this.
Okay.
And they really butchered Black Widow too. Like Black Widow didn't have any personality until the movie.
But yeah. Wanda came to her own in WandaVision. I mean, I guess it depends on who you consider the main character of Hawkeye.
It's Hawkeye.
I mean, Kate, I feel like we follow Kate more, but Hawkeye's there.
Yeah, it could be either one of them. I forgot about Hawkeye. And I liked Hawkeye a lot. I just forgot about it.
You just forgot it existed. Completely out of your mind. But yeah, no.
Yeah.
At least Kate had that. You're right. Oscar Isaac is the newest one. And not only that, he doesn't have like anyone else connected to this universe helping him out.
Yeah.
Because they were like,
really
this is its own separate thing over there.
It's really different. And it makes me slightly worried, but also interested in how they're going to handle like Miss Marvel.
I feel like, I mean, at least with Miss Marvel, it's not going to be way over there on its own because she's a super fan.
Yeah.
So at least they will have her mention other stuff. Like Moon Knight, they're not mentioning anything like New York, a celestial in the sky, a celestial coming out of the earth. They haven't mentioned the snap or anything.
Yeah. I also find it very interesting that they just the celestials the way that they did. Because every star is like supposed to be a celestial essentially.
Is that what happens? I didn't know that.
So they're just or not a star, but celestials come out of they eat planets to be born.
Yeah,
and create a star in the process.
Eagle's a living planet.
In the process.
I kind of wonder how that works. Like, did he move space or did he just like recreate the image in the sky? Because then the Guardians will be so lost,
right? Like he had to recreate the image because if he was controlling space, that means he was really up everyone.
I was like, the Guardians are flying to one planet. It's now like on the other side of the galaxy.
Yeah, like kind of wild.
I agree. Thanos was right. We have too many people just trying to fuck up Earth.
Yeah, that's a weird moral thing, right? Like, is it moral to destroy half of life if it saves everyone, or is
even before I knew about the Celestials, I was on Thanos' side.
I don't know.
I was Team Thanos before the Celestial problem emerged. Like, yeah, no, I'm okay with half the people dying.
But yeah,